Well, a spokesman for special counsel Robert Meuller says emails from the Trump transition team were obtained legally. President Trump said his team is very upset, and he added it's, quote, pretty sad the special counsel got hold of thousands of emails. But he told reporters Mueller's job is safe.
No, I'm not.
There you have it, 3 words. No, I'm not. Let's talk more about the investigation. Joining me now from Los Angeles, conservative commentator Alexandra Datig and CNN political commentator Dave Jacobson, who's also a Democratic strategist. Thank you both. First of all, we just heard it from the president after a weekend of rumors and alleged reports about alleged possibly firing. Mr. Trump says that's not the case. I'll start with you, Dave. How do you think it got to that point where people thought maybe he was going to pull the rug from Mr. Meuller?
Well, I think a lot of this, all the rumors started this week. Congresswoman Jackie Spear had said earlier this week, a Democrat, by the way, on Capitol Hill, that she had heard rumors among Republican colleagues. And we do have a lot of hotheads earlier this week on the Republican side who interviewed Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, who, of course, oversees the Mueller investigation. And there was intense questioning at that committee hearing. And so I think perhaps there was back-channeling, there was conversations behind closed doors raising the question. But you haven't heard leadership among Republicans, whether it's Mitch McConnell or Paul Ryan, giving any validity to those rumors. And so I think perhaps the president may have had conversations with Republican leadership, and perhaps they gave indications that they still think that the investigation should go on. They believe there's immense integrity behind Mueller and his team, and they want to get to the bottom of the Russian meddling and whether or not there was any collusion.
Right. Alexandra, what's your take on this? Because certainly there have been many attempts more from conservative commentators to undermine this investigation and question where it's at and what it's about. So what do you think?
Well, my overall impression of the investigation is Mr. Mueller has spent an awful lot of time sending the impression to exonerate Hillary Clinton and impeach President Trump. His team has certainly shown that it is biased. You have 9 out of 16 donating to Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton, and you have these text messages with Peter Strzok, and then you have the Fusion GPS scandal with Mr. Orr. So I'm a little bit disturbed by all of it, and I'm sort of surprised that this is. I mean, at this point, I feel it's a tainted investigation, and while Mr. Mueller himself may have not done anything inappropriate enough to be fired, firing him is a game of musical chairs in itself.
You really think that there have been credible instances where Mr. Mueller's team has showed that they're biased or this is tainted? They did let go the person working for them that they felt was anti-President Trump. Is this not, Alexandra, just any effort to undermine the investigation? Because quite clearly, this administration is very concerned about where it could lead.
Well, we should all be concerned about this investigation because a lot of things are coming to light that we didn't know. A lot of things are coming to light that the president didn't know, like these illegally obtained emails from the General Services Administration that could be Fourth Amendment privileged. There was also the pre-dawn raid of Paul Manafort, where there was attorney-client privilege material taken. So I don't think we're going to be this is not going to be the end of us hearing about privileged materials being obtained by this investigation. I haven't heard anything, any smoking gun. I haven't seen anything that this investigation has concluded where we would say this is not a complete and total waste of taxpayer money thus far.
Well, there have been people charged, and there have been people that have, entered pleas in this situation. Let me get Dave in here, though, because Dave, does Alexandra have a point, though, about these emails, whether they were obtained legally? Of course, Mr. Mueller's team sent out a response over the weekend that they were indeed. But what's your take?
I think it's a credibility issue. Here you have Donald Trump and his cronies in the White House, his allies and associates, that the Washington Post reported just a month ago, have lied or misled to the American public over 1,600 times. On the flip side, you have Bob Mueller, who served under 2 terms of a Republican president, President Bush, and then also under President Barack Obama. This is a decorated prosecutor, law enforcement leader who's been widely praised by both Republicans and Democrats, who's spearheading this investigation. And so I think it raises the question of credibility. Who do you trust, a president and his team of folks who have lied to the American public an unprecedented 1,600 plus times, or a decorated former FBI director, top prosecutor who served this country in a decorated fashion? I think that's the big issue. And then going back to the other point, the Bob Mueller the special counsel investigation has actually forward and gotten some wins. There have been 4 charges put forward, 2 of which have led to guilty pleas. And I think those are substantial and telling that this is moving forward at an intensely accelerated rate. And look, at the end of the day, if Republicans on Capitol Hill, and I'm talking leader Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell, agreed with the hotheads on the committee that oversaw or were questioning Rod Rosenstein earlier this week, then they'd be supporting firing Bob Mueller. But they're not. And let's also point out Rod Rosenstein, who's overseeing the investigation of Bob Mueller, Republicans on Capitol Hill shouldn't be.
All right. Well, we thank you both. It certainly indicates the paralysis that this country remains gripped in over this issue. We thank you both for your comments. Alexandra Datig, Dave Jacobson.
Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you.